Hello, everyone. It's my pleasure to introduce our distinguished guest speaker today, Mr. Sushil Verma. With over 35 years of experience in the field of business operations and supply chain management, Mr. Verma is an accomplished professional with a wealth of knowledge in various industries, including consumer goods, pharma, industrial and lab chemicals, veterinary medicines, healthcare diagnostics and instrumentation, educational publications, and high end medical equipment companies. Throughout his career, Mr. Verma has worked with market leaders and has gained extensive experience in commercial operations and supply chain. He has a proven track record of using his industry expertise to create effective solutions to complex business challenges. Furthermore, Mr. Verma has been conducting need based skill training programs as well for corporates and youth, using his extensive knowledge and experience to help organizations and individuals achieve their goals. We are thrilled to have Mr. Verma join us today, and we look forward to learning from his valuable insights and experiences in the field of operations and supply chain management. I welcome you, Sushil ji. I welcome
Thank you
you.
very much, ma'am. Pleasure. It's a pleasure to be on platform
Great.
and sharing my experience with you all.
Thank you, thank you. Sushil ji, what really inspired you to pursue a career in supply chain management?
Okay, the fact of matter is that supply chain as a discipline didn't exist when I joined the industry. It was way back in 1985. And I joined an organization, moved into the sales support stream. And that's how my career actually started. Somehow I always felt that I was not made out for sales and marketing, and I was not from finance stream. So this was one field which was left to support these sales streams from back end. Having said that, I learned on the job, and whatever knowledge I acquired through my own curiosity and learning, I put it into the practice, and that's how it became kind of bloodstream for me. So it was an accidental, I would say. Today, supply chain is everyone talks about, and it is the stream today. Yeah. So it was by chance.
Yeah. So can you tell us about some of the challenges you have faced in your career and how you overcame them?
So it's a very, very long journey, I would say. The supply chain piece was not organized, especially in context of India. Everywhere there were broken silos, and we worked in those broken silos. Today there is end-to-end connect, and one can see the real-time visibility, which was quite unheard of. I come from a time where a floppy would arrive once in a month and data would get uploaded, and that's how you come to know what is the exact situation at this point of time in terms of the inventories and everything. Everything had to be tracked manually with the help of Lotus, with the help of Fox Pro, with the help of Excel, gradually moving on. And any communication with the external service provider was always on a phone. So from the desktop device to gradually move to handheld, and then continued on for quite a long time till online visibility started coming. So it had been really challenging in terms of piecing together various components of the supply chain, and we worked in that silo and no one to guide, of course. And that is what prompted me to finally move into imparting my knowledge to the newbies, graduates who are coming out of MBA institutions and all, so that they are updated and upgraded on what is happening and what to look for in terms of solutioning. So name any challenge, it was there, still is there. Yeah.
Sushilji, technology plays a significant role in supply chain management. Can you share some of your experiences with
Yes.
the role of technology in your work and how you have used technology to optimize operations and enhance the supply chain efficiency?
Sure. So you won't believe when I say that I'm not techie. I never had any software training. Never ever. Whatever I learned on the job. I began with experimenting with Lotus, then Fox Pro, getting the data from backend through SQL queries and all. And that's how I kept myself updated and ahead of the need and ask of the roles. Then gradually Excel came in and things started becoming more easier to track. Luckily, I was involved in the software implementation in a couple of organizations. JD Edwards was implemented in one, SAP in another. So we worked day and night to put the systems together. And always the thought was, yes, of course, there is a software backbone, but what is it that you're looking for in terms of the value add coming out of that software? And then how to configure your systems, at the back end, so that they give you that right output, in granular manner. I have seen a lot of implementation in various organizations, and somewhere you really find yourself deadlocked because that initial thoughtfulness and back-end working hasn't gone into it. And to reinvent something new out of that becomes a challenge because that entire system has to be reconfigured. So it is at the stage of implementation that's where it starts, adding value. So I worked with only in the organization, in fact. So it's number one, number two company, and we implemented SAPs. So almost for 6 months, we did the scoping of what is that we expecting, coming out of that, and how to build that kind of hierarchies and structures, and relating to supply chain. Otherwise, how it will be. And it was very successful. And it took off. It just took off. We never faced any hiccups. We further developed on that, but never faced. So technology nowadays plays a much, much bigger role, especially in the stream of supply chain. When tech started getting introduced into the business side, it was purely on finance. To first, take care of the balance sheets and financial books, and data. The supply chain was kind of, much later.
So, Sushilji, what are the latest trends and developments in the supply chain management industry today? And how is automation affecting the supply chain? And how are companies adapting to this change?
So, in fact, last couple of years, almost a decade, and more recently, because of the COVID, the industry has seen a huge shift in terms of now bringing in the tech innovation. And when I say tech innovation, automation is just one piece of it. AI, the robotics, IoT, also the software in terms of getting the complete visibility, like control room is something which never heard of, is now part and parcel of each and every e-commerce industry. It's so uncanny. Almost 2-3 years ago, 4 years ago maybe, we were in a meeting in the month of January with this organization, and we were talking that whatever we are doing in terms of the supply chain visibility and everything is not really working out well. We need something like cockpit view. And we discussed and we thought about it, how to really integrate the systems within our own organization to be able to have that cockpit view. And within a couple of months, Blue Yonder was the first one to jump in the foray, and they brought about the cockpit. Then Kinaxis came in, and now there are so many organizations which are now stitching various links of supply chain. Today, sitting on your desk, you can have visibility to your material in port, on the high sea, where exactly it is, in what container, in which particular box, when is it arriving, when it left. All those details are now available with the click of button, and which really adds to the supply chain piece.
Much easier.
Much easier. You have the real-time information, and if anything happens, like the Suez Canal incidents, organizations today have the leverage with the help of supply chain to be able to at least mitigate to some extent those deadlocks and breaks in between, which was not earlier available. Even on the floor, the automation robotics has completely changed the customer end delivery. So there is a lot of automation happening, especially the big ones are adopting, and almost everything is touchless and very, very minimal human intervention, but picked up with a lot of accuracy. So all these big e-commerce companies today are thriving and benefiting from the warehouse automation. So a lot is happening. The AI and BI, business analytics, intelligence, is giving a lot of insight to various data points, bringing them together and giving advanced intelligence in terms of the customer behavior.
Right.
So a lot has changed within 2-3 years because of the disruption.
But are companies adopting sustainable practices in their operations?
So sustainability is something which we started talking about in last decade only.
Okay.
And we actually sat down globally, and not at supply chain level or organization level, but governmental level, to think in terms of how to make our life on the planet more sustainable. And we adopted almost 25, 26 SDG initiatives. And we are moving in that direction. The organizations have become a bit more conscious about it. Are we actually there? I would say no. A lot of innovation is needed. And sustainability can only come when we adopt it at the point of product design, at the point of the way we go around doing business. It's all, factored in there. If our products, in terms of, I'm only speaking of the supply chain piece, are not designed to be disposed of at the end of their life cycle in a sustainable manner, then we don't have a win-win game there. So we need to sit down at the time of product inception, how we will finally be able to bring it back or neutralize or reuse in a sustainable manner, which is a long walk. So most of our nations are
companies are looking into it. I hope
they are looking into it. They are putting 5-year, 10-year target, but all the environmentalists and SDG initiative organization, they are saying that we don't have much time. We should come about much sooner. So there is a race, but there is also money attached to it.
Another question which is coming to my mind is that decision making is a critical part of any field. Can you walk us through your decision making process during challenging times, especially, and what factors you consider when making important decisions?
Okay, so supply chain is always challenging.
Yeah.
It's just 30, 40, 50% probably in-house. And rest of it is all dependent on external factors and service providers which are outside your environment, and direct control.
Beyond control also,
Beyond control also. Well, yeah. So any natural disruption is beyond control also. So in those times, quick decision based on how much information you can gather. It has to be an informed decision. And if the decision is not focused on the customer and on the cost, then we will err one way or the other. So I think when I need to make a decision in those kind of scenarios, I always One, have the latest information on hand. What is it? And where are we? And from where do we have to go? And how the customer will be impacted by whatever actions that we are taking. And then the cost factor.
Sure.
Mainly these two, product safety and everything, of course, becomes part of it. But these are basic two thumb rules. And those are the key drivers or guideposts, I would say.
Sushilji, you've handled big teams, so I'd like to have a brief idea like what is your leadership style and how have you motivated your team to achieve goals?
Okay. So my leadership style is little unorthodox, more collaborative in nature. I feel that, the way things are happening today, for whatever reason, the financial or whatever, scaling up your, fellow colleagues and your people who are under your command is equally important for them to be able to perform what is coming and what they will be facing in the future. Unless you work on that developmental aspect, you cannot get your best output. Right. And it has to be collaborative, sitting along with them. Luckily, I had bosses who sat with me and we worked on projects for days and on end without even taking a nap. Actually, we worked for 5 days on a stretch. And because they were there to set an example, I was more than willing to give my bit to it, looking at them. So I feel we need to set an example. As an employer, I need to be more conscious of the work-life balance and never over-expect, and also handhold wherever they need support. So not necessarily spoon feed, but then give them enough a leeway to take their own decisions and calls and stand by them. Once we decide, then support. And that has worked well. So whichever team I have worked with so far, they all want to come and join wherever I go. So I think that speaks a lot. It gives a lot of satisfaction. So that I have added value to them.
See, with these high pressure kind of a work, how have you been dealing with rejection, disappointment, and what advice do you have for youngsters, young entrepreneurs, someone who's really feeling tired, stressed out? What would be your advice and how you've dealt with it?
Okay. So in supply chain, there is a saying that it's a thankless job.
Yes.
Right? 99% things happen correct. Nobody will come and pat your back. But if one thing goes wrong, that becomes a song for the entire year. So that is how it is. So time and again, I've been reminded by bosses that you have chosen a field where you can't expect a thank you. But then I feel that I'm in an industry, and being in healthcare and all those industries which are critical to running, the other sides of the operations, there was always a just cause. And my work is adding to that. So at the other end, there is someone who's deeply getting benefited from whatever I'm doing. So I have to do it right first time, and I have to make sure that things get stretched. Second thing which has probably helped me is I keep segregated individuals and their management styles from the issues that we are tackling, and working on the issues and not holding the individuals. There's another way to actually cut out stress.
Sure.
And whenever you get time, yes, just forget and start afresh. Every day is a new start.
Great.
So that helps a lot. I prefer to be on good talking terms with everyone within the organization. So I would always, wherever I have worked, would go and say at least good morning, even if we had a fight the previous day. So that eases out. The relationships are built on that. So it's more of a relationship. When you understand that you are into it and you're doing your best, it reduces stress also. So I've heard the CEOs who said, okay, I leave it to you. I know you will do the right thing. So even if there is a challenge right now, do it your way. I'm behind you.
So,
And that has helped a lot.
right, great. Finally, how do you keep yourself motivated? And what advice do you have for others who want to stay motivated in their work?
Okay, so if I can say, in any case, in any stream of business, it's always a challenge. It's not that sales people, marketing people don't have challenge. It's not that finance doesn't have challenge. We are all like working like a clockwork together in an organization. If one gear stops, everything comes to a standstill. We need to realize that bigger picture, right? And in doing that, one needs to have certain basic fundamentals cleared out in one's life. So I have something which I feel that through all these years of experience, it's very important, first of all, to find a mentor that you can connect to. Someone who can open your mind and eyes and ears to the world around us and helps us grow as an individual, professionally and individually. And I was lucky that I found one at the start of my career itself. That has come as a, you have a guidepost, you have a lighthouse when you are on the waves in the sea. Second thing, which is very important, is to be firmly grounded in ethics, integrity, and honesty as a baseline of operating principle, whatever activities we perform. It's very, very lackluster kind of a thing, but saves a lot of heartburn and fallout later on. And once that is there in place, most of the actions arising out of it will always be, decision will be always right. That's second piece, which I take out from my life for learning. Third thing, which is have a lifelong commitment to learning as a professional and individual. Instead of saying I know it, one can say what more I can know to improve my understanding and output. Learning requires humility and curiosity. Things are changing so fast. There is so much of knowledge explosion. No one can have end-to-end view, and there is always a scope of learning. So that keeps the charm and that keeps the interest alive. Fourth thing, which I feel, is we must adopt and never shun away from hard work, but smart hard work. You need to assess the whole lot of situation, and if it is required, putting your foot down in the dust, do it. But do it in a smart manner so that next time, again, you don't end up doing it. It should be the last time.
Right.
So process improvement comes along with it. In what way I can better it comes along with it. So persevering in your pursuit is very, very key ingredient to it. Fifth is take ownership and responsibility to bring about desired change. And that has held me good in my supply chain career, because it's very easy to put things on someone else and pass the buck and the blame that transporter or this warehouse manager or that person or the salesperson. Ultimately, I'm the key pivot to give culmination to what I'm doing. So I own it. I need to stitch it. I need to bring about the to it a meaningful end. So when you work with that, things become easier for you to decide. Sixth thing, which I learned very early on in career, was lean towards technology. There is no shying away from the fact that we are not adept and not really forward-looking in terms of the way technology is changing. It is changing way too fast now. And unless and until we are in sync with that, you don't have to be a techie to know it. But in what way it is impacting your role in business? So we need to be in sync with what is awaiting us in the future. Otherwise, we will be redundant. There will be others who will be taking that seat.
Great.
It is very, very critical in today's scenario. Next thing, you asked about this stress busting and management. I find recluse in books. I find a lot of solace in books. So read a lot of books relating to your stream or whatever interests you. That will at least for some time cut you away from all that, humdrum of whatever is bothering you, give you fresh perspectives, and read the latest ones which are coming out from whatever subjects, management, and everything. It is critical for the newbies, and especially those who are now entering the career path. And lastly, which has been my backbone, is be disciplined, organized, and health conscious. So this is something which I had learned from my father. He used to be in office at 8:15 sharp. For years he worked, but he was never late. People used to, match their watch timings with his arrival in the office, and that's what I learned. Never to shy away being at the office place or workplace or to your meeting or appointment on time. Organize your things. If they are disorganized, you will end up spending a lot of time on getting hands on to whatever you need to perform, and that delay will build pressure. Health is most important. So your sleep, as well as your team members, everyone's sleep. One has to be conscious about that and maintain a good, robust hygiene and a healthy discipline. So in terms of eating, taking rest, in terms of exercising, if these are taken care of, you will be able to give better output. So these are my couple of nuggets of wisdom which have helped me actually to achieve whatever I have been able to in a short period of time. I'm not actually management professional and all, but these things have come handy, starting from the lowest end of the ladder of the job to the highest and multiple geographies and much expanded, larger teams, and handling almost 3,000, 4,000 people from all sides. It has come handy and it can be done.
These are definitely valuable insights, I must say. And for youngsters, for startups, these are much valuable insights. I'm really grateful and thankful to you for sparing out your time. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sushil ji.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.